The monastery of St. George Karaiskakis dates to the 11th century, and it was destroyed in the same century after the Norman invasion with the Crusades, and the monks who lived here fled to the caves in the area. 5 centuries later, it was rebuilt in 1593. During the years of the Ottoman Empire, and the architecture is Athonite rhythm, and the icon paintings on the walls, the frescoes, date to 1719, and they were painted by disciples of Saint Theophany, the Cretan. They were painted by monks, and the saints are mainly men saints and holy fathers of monasticism. The entire liturgy is depicted above the holy altar, and the 24 stasis of the salutations to the Mother of God and the Holy Scripture are depicted. In 1938, the then abbot Damaskinos built the narthex to house the wonder-working icon of the Mother of God, which is named Spiliotissa. Spiliotissa means cave, and it is a miraculous icon which has healed many ill people and has given children to childless couples, and is very much venerated in the entire region of Thessaly and Greece. And it is housed in the holy altar of Saint Ezekiel, Prophet Ezekiel. To our right, we have the holy altar of Saint Modestus. Throughout the centuries, the monastery was inhabited by monks, and in the 18th century, Saint Cosmas of Aetolia passed by the monastery and preached and served divine liturgy. And in the late 17th century, later 18th century, the national hero named Giorgos Karaiskakis was born in a cave just above the monastery and was baptized here in the monastery, and he was given the name of the saint. And he grew up in the village, and he mastered all the martial arts, and at 15 years old he led an army of 1,000 soldiers, and he led the revolt in this area of Thessaly and reached Athens and was victorious. However, he was assassinated after the independence had been declared, and he's very well respected in this area, in his native land, and his memory is always referred, and he's memorialized in the divine liturgies and on the feast day of St. George in the local church of the village named Mavromati, to which this monastery historically belongs. And here in the monastery we also venerate his memory. In the feast day of St. George, his name is memorialized. Mm-hmm. And the 20th century witnessed also a very active men's monastery here, with the then abbot Damaskinos, who was a very active abbot, and there was a school here for a dormitory here for 50 boys who he brought up, and these boys went to school in Mouzaki, the local village, and finished high school and studied, and this was all due to the holy abbot. And also many families lived from due to the monastery. They worked here. There were many. There was much to cultivate at that time. Farming and animals here were raised, so they worked and helped, and they were able to have an income from the monastery. However, the monastery ceased to exist as a monastery after the abbot, the Maskinos, fell asleep in the Lord, and it was abandoned until the arrival of our sisterhood in 2003, and then the monastery began to be restored once again, and we began with the restoration of the church. The church was very, very abandoned and ready to fall down, and we reconstructed the church externally and had the icon paintings restored, and we're in the process of rebuilding the entire monastery.